Hi guys, welcome to Shexas YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like, share and comment. Your comment will help us in improving our YouTube channel and the services that we are providing for you. Right, today we're going to look at the steps involved in creating a database. By this I mean the fundamental steps that one needs to follow whenever he or she intends to have a database. Right, from the fundamental steps we are going to look at the SQL statements that enables us to create a database. SQL statements for the creation of database tables, and lastly we are going to look at some constraints that we need to enforce whenever we are creating a database. So let's open our Navigate. So I will do that and search for Navigate, then open that one. That's the one. Right, here we go. Right, these are the connections. So today I want us to create a new connection to our MySQL database, to our SQL database. That is that one. Select that. You can give any name. You want to give it this name, Shexamount. That's the connection name. You can put your own name. You can type in whatever you want to type in this field. Then here you can leave it as localhost, or you can put the IP address of the server that is hosting our MySQL server, MySQL database. So here in our case it's this IP. Remember the configuration, remember the port, remember the username, remember the host name or IP address. Then here the password. I'm going to test the connection. The connection is successful, so let me create this connection. Now I have this Shexamount connection. I can double click it so that I can see these default databases. Right, now I want to have my own database in here, but before we do that, let's just go through the steps that you need to follow to create a database. I'll just give you the steps randomly, but the order you may choose the one that suits your requirements. Right, the first thing that I think you need to do is to identify the problem. This problem that you have identified is the one that is going to be solved through the use of a database. So that's step number one. Step number two, so these are the steps. From step number one, we have identified the problem which needs a database solution. Now, what is the purpose of the database that you're going to create? So you determine the purpose of your database. So that's step number two. After that, what you need to do is identify all involved entities. So what do I mean by an entity? An entity is just an object, or it's a real world object, and these objects, they include products, they include employee, they include several things. So identify all involved entities, right? From entities, you know that each and every entity has got its properties or attributes. So you identify respective attributes for the identified entities, right? So these are the steps. The first thing, identify the problem, determine the purpose of your database, identify all involved entities, identify respective attributes for the identified entities. So an entity is an object. Maybe it's a ball. Most of us who play FIFA, Pro Evolution Soccer, in that software there are several objects. We have the ball, the person, the gate, the ground itself, and all these things, they do have attributes or properties or characteristics. And these characteristics, we may have color, the shape, height, diameter, all these attributes are the ones that we are referring to here as we are saying respective attributes. That's what we are referring to, the properties of an object, the properties of the ball, the properties of a human being, right? So after identifying the attributes involved, you need to draw an ERD, and this one, it shows you the relationship between your entities. So ERD stands for entity relationship diagram. It shows you the relationship between your entities. Can two people kick the ball at the same time? So one person kicks the ball. Can two people have the ball at the same time? If this is Pro Evolution Soccer, it's impossible. So you need to know the relationship between a player and the ball. So draw an ERD diagram. After drawing an ERD diagram, you know that we have identified our entities. The next thing is to extract. What do I need to extract? You need to extract database tables from your entities. So each and every entity may represent a table. Like I said, an employee is now can now be a table. From this, specify all required keys. Specify all required keys. Then step number 8, after specifying the required keys, these keys, they ensure or enforce some integrities, such as entity integrity, data integrity, or referential integrity. So we need to maintain that through the use of keys. I am sure that you know that we have foreign keys, primary key, and so forth. Right, from this step, after specifying all these keys, you normalize your database. To remove several anomalies, deletion anomaly, redundancy, and so forth. Right, after this, you now get to a step where you write SQL statements. Right, SQL statements to create a database. And the 10th step is to write SQL statements to create tables. Here, that's where you can enforce constraints in your tables, right? These are the steps for database creation. Identify the problem, determine the purpose of your database. Here, what you are doing is you've identified the problem, and now you are saying, in our organization or in my organization or personally, I'm going to use this database for this purpose, or I'm going to use this database to achieve 1, 2, 3 objectives, or I'm going to use this database to achieve a certain goal. So after determining the purpose, you have set an objective or you have set a goal, which you check after the creation of your database. You will say, after I've created my database, have I solved the problem? Is the database serving its purpose? That's step number 1 and step number 2. So step number 3 is you now identify all involved entities. You know that maybe you are saying, I want to create a database. I want to create a database where I will be having it's maybe, let's say, an entity. It's an asset management database. In this asset management database, what are you going to have in that database? I am going to have assets. Definitely I need those assets. So these assets, an asset is an object. So if we say a computer is an instance of an object. So this computer is an instance of an object, and this is what we are calling an entity. And each computer has got some attributes, like, which is step number 4, where we are saying each item has got respective attributes like color, serial number, it may have model, supplier, and some other attributes that relates to that entity or that object. Then we draw an ERT where we say, I do have an employee as an object or as an entity, and I do have a laptop. How are these two related? Can one employee have 2 laptops? Can one laptop belong to 2 employees? That's where you say 1 to 1, 1 to many, and so forth. And then you also draw the relationship between an entity, between a laptop and a person or an employee. So what are you saying here? You are saying an employee can have a laptop. That's the relationship between the two. Then you extract database tables from your entities. Then specify all required keys, primary key or whatever. Normalize, write SQL statements. That's the next tutorial. We're going to write SQL statements to create a database. We're going to write SQL statements to create tables and enforce some constraints. Right, so these keys, they assist us in maintaining entity integrity, data integrity, referential integrity. And then the attributes, you need to know the data type that we are going to use for each and every attribute. That's maintaining domain integrity. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and give a comment. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.